Good morning, everybody. Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be working with Osworks and everybody on the agenda today. This is a team approach today, and it's a team approach moving forward. I think my mission today is a couple things. One is to dispel any kind of misinformation that's out there, help you learn more about Puerto Rico, past, present, and more importantly, the future. Introduce you to our organization, Invest Puerto Rico, if you've never heard of us, which I hope is less and less every day. Let you look underneath the hood a little bit regarding our BD efforts, regarding our launch of the investor platform, regarding our launch of a new webpage coming up, things like that with respect to Invest Puerto Rico. And then set the stage for an exciting day regarding a webinar and possible partnerships all around opportunity zones. Let's see here. Here we go. Is it going? It's not going. So much for good luck. Just bear with me 1 second here. How about there? There we go.
There we go.
So, for those that don't know, Invest Puerto Rico was created in 2017 by the legislature on the island. We are a nonprofit, and we are officially in charge of business attraction and foreign direct investment for the island. These duties used to be part of the government, and they created our organization to promote Puerto Rico as a competitive investment jurisdiction globally. We aim to be transformational and results oriented in everything that we do. Our team is a bunch of people with expertise in marketing, strategy, research, business development, sales, leadership. We help companies navigate the process, get introduced to the single business portal, address all sorts of technical needs, workforce needs, access to capital. We serve as a primary point of contact for businesses looking at the island. And I will say one of the reasons why we're so interested in opportunity zones is because half our leads come from investors. And I think that's really important to understand. We convene a lot of stakeholders like today, and we work a lot on real estate and talent and workforce issues, helping every company find what they need. Here's a little bit quickly about Puerto Rico. We're 3.2 million people. We're an island of 35 miles by 110 miles. Just so you know, that 3.2 million population is bigger than 20 out of the 50 states. So we are very densely populated in an island paradise. We have all the natural assets that Kimberly mentioned earlier and that are just amazing. We are a U.S. territory, which means the federal laws regarding intellectual property, all of those things apply. When I deal with Asia, I have to remind them that we speak English, and we also use U.S. currency. It's right now, it's just, it's a very interesting time during COVID, and we're basically spreading the message. We're a bilingual population, and as you saw, our location is really in a sweet spot. I mentioned the 3.2 million people. Unlike many other Caribbean nations, our economy is based upon manufacturing. This is not the Caribbean island that is all tourism and a little offshore betting and financial institutions. We have $101 billion GDP, and half of that is manufacturing. You can see the breakup here to the right. I want to show you this slide because I think this is the money slide, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time. These are the sectors of significance that we, Invest Puerto Rico, spend a lot of time working on. BioSciences, ICT and knowledge services, aerospace, ag, food and beverage manufacturing, advanced manufacturing, and energy. Under BioSciences, make no mistake that Puerto Rico is America's medicine cabinet. We have 12 of the top 20 pharmaceutical companies in the world on the island, and 7 of the top 10 medical devices. We are the #1 exporter of pharmaceuticals of any state, okay? #1. You had #2 and #3. They still don't equal what #1 Puerto Rico does. We are pivoting, though. We are also moving into gene cell therapy, and this is where the puck is going in pharmaceuticals and healthcare. We have 2 companies on the island, and we're working on 4 more coming. and this is the future of medicine. We spend a lot of time in PPE as well, kits, gowns, gloves, masks. All of these things are critical supply chain for the US government because made in Puerto Rico is made in America. On the information communications technology side, you call it IT, I call it ICT, because without the C, it's just information, it's not connected. We spend a lot of time working with companies that are highlighted here in blockchain, virtual reality, AI, machine learning, fintech, also back office functions, BPOs, and international finance entities. We have over 5,000 people working on the island in aerospace and avionics. One company has over 1,000 engineers working on R&D for Honeywell. Ag, food and beverage, hemp and marijuana industries, and I think it's called craft, which is another product. If I'm saying it incorrectly, I apologize. But these are very heavy cellulosic products that have all sorts of commercial applications. We are looking for hemp processing technologies and companies to come. We have tons of growers and tons of innovation. I want tons of processing equipment on the island so nobody has to export it to have it processed and made into final product. Blue economy is very big for us. That's obviously, if you don't know, code for ocean economy, aquaponics, hydroponics, offshore wind energy, controlled environments. All of those things are in that sector. Ag, food, or advanced manufacturing, anything on the textile side, manufactured housing, and some cold chain storage, logistics, and 3PL. The last thing I want to mention is energy. And I mention energy because energy is associated with every single project that we do. Every manufacturer that we're looking at bringing to the island is looking at a PPA, a microgrid, a rooftop solar, a cogen co-location at their site. There was a big move recently where the transmission and distribution system was privatized. Luma, L-U-M-A, is the new utility entity in charge of that. And there's new tranches going out for creating 1,000 megawatts of power that ultimately in the end will replace the energy produced by our older equipment. I mentioned cogen being very, very critical. We have a desire to be 100% off the grid or renewable by 2050. And the way these projects are going right now, we might just get there. So that gives you an idea. These are pictures, these are commercials that are snapshots. I mentioned, 7 of the top 10 medical device companies. Those are listed there. Boston Scientific. These are all names that you know. J&J, Medtronics. I think they make 80% of their products on the island. And then on the pharmaceutical side, all of those big companies, Pfizer, Amgen, they're all here, and many of them have several plants. We're working with a new round of targets, and I'll talk about that later, in the pharmaceutical industry that are very interesting. These are another snapshot commercials of information technology and electronics. A lot of the medical devices need electronics, and we have all of these companies here in IT and electronics that are making those components for them. All of this stuff, by the way, is available on our webpage in a much more readable, legible format. I know the font can get small. Aerospace, I mentioned earlier, is big. You can see we have over 5,000 people working here in those sectors. We are the #1 source of engineers for NASA. People don't know that. We are looking at spaceports, horizontal launch facility at Rosie Roads. We are looking at other things in the aerospace, avionics, and space industry. And we think, we have the Lufthansa MRO in Aguadilla. You can also see physically where things are located in this industry. They tend to be on the outside of the islands, not in the hill country, and are concentrated around Aguadilla, San Juan, and some of the other communities. I think the importance of this slide is just to let you know that Puerto Rico is about six hours away from just about anywhere in the United States, or at least 2/3 of it, half of South America. You can get to Africa, and you can get to Western Europe in 6 hours. Flights are going to change coming out of COVID. I can tell you, anybody that's in in the shipping of people and shipping of cargo business is looking at their flights and their flight planning right now. And it'll be interesting to see where Puerto Rico ends up coming out of COVID because of our logistical center and our connection, our transshipment hub connections. We also have 3 international airports, which is really important. Workforce is key today. I don't care if you're in New Jersey, North Carolina, California, Wisconsin, Texas, doesn't matter. Mexico, Canada. If you don't have people, you don't have workforce, you don't have profitable companies. Not everything is an app, and we need people to run these companies. And our workforce is very dedicated. Our workforce is very experienced, particularly in the sectors that I highlighted earlier. I highlight some things here. 6 out of every 10 college degrees awarded on the island are awarded in science and engineering programs to women. We are #1 in the United States for graduating Hispanic engineers, #1 for graduating chemical engineers, and #2 for graduating female engineers. These are very important things. One of my roles is to change our #1 export from talented people to the mainland and create companies and bring companies here so that they can stay here and work here in this island paradise. One other thing I want to talk about is Polytechnica, Holberton, and some of these other universities are doing amazing things as well. And Polytechnica just launched a cybersecurity center with 7 Eagle right on their campus. And this is a very highly secure and training and project site. And we're very excited about that. That was a real estate investment, and I think it was an OZ fund that got involved on the investment stack there. Another economy is ESG in the blue economy. ESG is environmental, social impact projects in the blue economy, as I mentioned, is the ocean. We are looking at projects in all of these subsectors here on the island, given the natural resources that we have here. We're very excited about the future. When it comes to renewable energy, here is a brand new convention center that was built a couple years ago. You can see the major investment in solar canopies above the parking carports, creating 5.4 megawatts. I mentioned Luma. I also want to mention our energy committee. We have a private sector-led energy committee on the island that is doing amazing things, connecting the entire sector together. I'm going to keep going because I've got about 5 minutes left. 5G is not an issue. 5G is throughout the entire island. Wireless infrastructure has been improved and made more redundant post Hurricane Maria. And we have a center of excellence that's being created for 5G, which is part of the national consortium of 5G centers. It's us, Texas A&M, Purdue, and Hawaii. And we are part of that network, and companies can come here, plug in, and test their technology on our 5G core. ZeroG to 5G, 0, 3, 4, all of the G's, if you will, are important. ZeroG is a network that allows companies to collect wholesale data on low power, particularly on the highways and tracking things. But our entire island is very well covered, and we have 2 major providers. The one thing I do want to mention is the Internet of Things conference coming for all of Latin America and the Caribbean. It was supposed to be held the first week of December. COVID is now postponed until June, but we will be hosting that conference for all of Latin America and Caribbean for the next 3 years here on the island. This is a very big, important thing for us because we want to see companies come here. We want to see that technology be implemented in our networks and have very connected smart cities here. Here's a look underneath the hood. These are the sectors that I mentioned that we concentrate on. What I'm highlighting here is that you can see the 3 columns to the right. This is my pipeline summary. There's a percentage of projects that come in the door by the industry sector, the percentage of the CapEx or the private expenditure that they're making, and the percentage of jobs that are being created with these projects. Right now, we have about 1.5 billion in our pipeline, over 7,000 jobs. The top 3 lead types or pipeline projects are information communications technology, bio, which is med device, pharmaceutical, and gene cell therapy, and advanced manufacturing. I will say that ICT also includes back office functions, BPOs, if you will. On the CapEx side, energy is the second largest investment opportunity on the island, and all of those renewable and off the grid resources that I mentioned. And then back to the type, by the number of jobs that are being created, biosciences is number one, but ICT, fintech, BPOs are number two, and advanced manufacturing is number three. So it gives you a snapshot of the kind of projects that are looking at the island that we're working with directly, hoping to bring a third or a half of these to the island in the next 6 to 9 months. Foreign trade zones are all across the island. This is key. This is very important for those that are doing value-added manufacturing. There are 3 foreign trade zones, but 700 plus qualified facilities and sites. This is very important also for inventory control, helps with customs, helps avoid those kind of taxes. Very, very important for any manufacturer looking at the island. Opportunity zones, the reason why we're all here today, you can see the entire island is an opportunity zone, Sands, Dorado, Las Palmas, and a few sites here and there. This is a great opportunity, which is very different than the mainland, where no more than 25% of low to moderate income sites can be included inside an opportunity zone in all of the other 50 states. The last thing I want to really highlight is the investment platform. This investment portal was launched about 2 weeks ago. This is a place, I call it match.com, for capital seeking projects and project seeking investors, excuse me. We launched with about 16 different deals, many of which OZ Works people that came down a couple months ago saw. Others are a bunch of new ones here. I've got Brian Beaugerie, who's going to be presenting later today on my staff, that he created this, or we licensed WealthBlock. We didn't create this from scratch. We took a software and licensed it from Chicago that is industry standard. We're very excited about this. We want to see this double, triple in size in the number of projects and the number of investors. Obviously, opportunity zone investment, qualified investment funds are definitely eligible to be posted on there. The last thing I want to do is give you my information, my contact information. It's here, and it'll be, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. If you have any opportunities or companies you would like me to work with, or my staff, please let me know. I've also included Sam Tallman, who is our business development manager. He is all things real estate, and he heads up the energy committee that I mentioned earlier for Invest Puerto Rico. So with that, I want to thank you. And if we have a minute for questions, I'll entertain it. Otherwise, I will turn it over to Chris.